That was 3 minutes ago. Are we live? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't it say it was going live? There you go.
No, that was 4 minutes ago.
Oh,
That was this one.
we gotta take that one down.
Right.
Uh,
Let's see here.
it's going to show
Oh.
there. So let me see.
Mm-mm.
Having all kind of trouble with the live tonight. Let me see. Is it live on the tube of you?
Good question.
Okay, it says 10 watching. Looks like we are. Bam, there it is.
Oh, nice.
There it is. There it is. All right, family. We are here.
We're here,
You know what I'm
kind of.
saying? Kind of, sort of.
Right.
We on. That's facts. We on. So, all right, fam, it's your brother Assad.
And I'm Adrienne.
And we are
Hey,
back
guys.
again with another quick live. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new material on this channel. Secondly, in terms of housekeeping, I got to give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to my South African family for all the love you guys have shown this channel. My wife, myself, my children. We greatly appreciate it. Any more housekeeping stuff?
No,
Because
it's alive. Why are you doing all this?
Well, you got to get the housekeeping out the way. Yeah, we got to get the housekeeping out the way, family. We just wanted to jump on real quick. We'll probably be on here about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. We ain't gonna be on it too long because I'm tired.
It's late.
Y'all can see we are relaxing in the busy.
And somebody said, look, we got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to get up and get kids to school in the morning. So I'm right with you.
Right. So we're not going to be here all night. Maybe we'll just end our night off together. You know? So how is everyone doing? I mean, if you want to be in the chat. So because we try to go live on YouTube first, I didn't link this because now we're through Zoom, so it's weird. So I didn't link it. So I'm gonna have to link the chat in the Zoom chat there in a second. But we've had some interesting conversations as of late. Yes. We have met with, let's see, 1, 2, 3 different African-American people in the last week who have been who are visiting Josie. Mm-hmm. One person we met with today, they actually live in Josie now. They're teaching. And then another brother is visiting, starting his own business. He's actually a professor at a university in the States. And then another brother was, he had a layover here and on his way back from Ethiopia. So he had like a 12-hour layover. So we linked up. I think y'all saw that last live where the brother came in at the end or whatever have you. So what's happening, brother from Dallas? So we had some very interesting conversations. And it's just like, I guess we just wanted to talk a little bit about Johannesburg and its perception. So what did you think about some of the convos that we had? I know you wasn't there for most of the convo with Brother Sharif.
No, yeah. I had to be home for children.
It's been 3 years since this channel posted content.
3 years? Maybe they're just exaggerating. Like it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
I don't know. Because we posted Wednesday.
I'm saying.
Yeah, we posted a live Wednesday. Just automatically went just spontaneously went live. So here's a question before we go. Somebody suggested that we have certain days that we drop content or go live, like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or at one time we were going live every Sunday, like when we were back in the States. So if you think we should have like set days that we go live, so we can kind of keep a schedule so that you guys know, okay, Assad and Adrian will be live today, Wednesday at this time, or even if we
What?
record something and make sure that we post like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of a schedule? If you think we should have a schedule, put one in the comments and we will figure out a schedule because like we move around a lot during the day.
Yeah.
And if we do so much stuff, I just forget to pull out my camera and record.
I
So
know, huh?
yeah, I forget to pull out my camera. But you know what? You got to be in the moment. Right. You got to be in the moment. I'm not always thinking about YouTube. I'm thinking about vibing with people in the moment,
Yeah.
So
like, hold on, let me record you right quick.
Because today we met at noon and didn't finish until what, 6:30?
Yeah.
We had like a 6-hour conversation.
Long chat with somebody.
Yeah, just sitting down, talking, chopping up the breeze, learning about their experiences here in Josie and talking about some of the differences that we have noticed and talking about the states and all that good stuff. So sometimes you're just trying to be in the moment. Oh, yeah. Buku ones. A lot of ones. I was editing a video and something told me to check my YouTube. South Creation. That's the brother from Mississippi, huh?
Yeah.
South Creation. We need to link up, brother.
The spirit was leading you.
Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday content. Somebody said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday content.
That's another job.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty easy because you have all weekend to either film something or record something because we're always doing something on the weekend. Like this weekend, we went out to our son's school. They had a big race and I filmed the end of it, but I didn't film all the other activities that were going on around it. I was just trying to film him crossing the finish line or whatever have you. So Monday, so that'll give us a weekend.
No, I would think that was one suggestion, but then there's like a weekend. You could do something on the weekend too.
I think Saturday, 7 evening would be a great time for a live. But are people out and about on
evening?
Like, I think Saturday is, I don't know. I thought Saturday would be the time that people getting dressed to kind of go out and hang out or whatever have you. Now, Sunday may be a little bit like...
like more laid back.
Laid back, yeah. We may get more content and ask questions in real time. You can ask questions. Whoa, Doc Nikki, what's happening?
Hey, Doc Nikki.
Yeah. Let me get this Zoom link. So
oh goodness.
Let me get this Zoom link.
Yeah.
Well, doggone it, how can I do it?
Oh, here we are with our technical difficulties.
I can't get the Zoom link right. Let me see.
This is our challenge.
This is always our challenge, y'all. Y'all know we owe somebody when I told him I had a
Zoom link.
No, when I told him I had a Yahoo and a Hotmail account, they said y'all dinosaurs. So I'm still learning this.
Live long enough, you'll be right there with us.
My daddy said the only way not to get old is to die young.
Right.
That's the only way not to get old.
Talk about us now.
I can't pull the Zoom link without moving all kind of cameras and stuff, family. I'm sorry.
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry. Not? But yeah, we usually have the Zoom link. I would have to pull it from here and then post it on the live. But then I'm gonna go off camera. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Let's see.
We're gonna try something new.
Let's see if I can
hang with us. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Sunday live. Yeah, maybe we'll keep with the Sunday evening lives.
All right, let's see if I can.
Lives are actually our favorite.
Yeah.
Because you get to just like have real-time conversation with folks.
All right, let's see.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, wait, that's us.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to first pause.
Hold on, yeah.
And
there
then
you go. You're doing well.
I am?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the words of encouragement.
Don't be flustered. You're figuring it out.
How do I add a comment to the chat?
Well, what do you mean? You gotta move this up.
Oh.
Come on. No, the whole window.
The whole window, what you mean?
Oh man. Then go, wait. I promise you, we usually figure things out better than this.
There we go. Bam.
Bam. There you go. For some reason, I'm watching this, praying load shedding doesn't creep in. Oh, load shedding. We had a good conversation about load shedding too today with someone who just moved here from the States.
All right. So I think the link.
There we go.
All right. The link should be in the thing. Now, don't ask me to do it 2 and 3 times. Now I'm gonna be confused.
Right. That was a lot.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
The Undertaker's hat. Hello, guys. What a creepy name. The Undertaker's hat.
The Undertaker's hat. Where is that?
That's someone's like profile on here. They said, hello, guys. I'm like, hey, but creepy.
It might mean something real deep. But anyway, family, I put the link in the let me see if I can copy it.
Probably not. Yeah. Yep.
What's going on?
Oh, hey, we got chilling with the Charles in the house.
Whoa, what's happening? Okay.
Oh, goodness. They're going to be here second week of January for a month. Will y'all be in Josie or back to Cape Town? I know y'all love Cape Town. Let us know.
Anybody that can copy the link, can you copy the? What's going down in deep?
These Cowboys, that's what's going down. Representing on this Sunday. How y'all doing?
Man, we are chilling. We are doing, man, look.
Chilling.
It's Josie life is good. Josie life is good.
I'm over here like a saltine cracker, just salty.
We were there this summer. We were like,
I see a few people like who were in the same position that we were in. Like, shout out to changing the narrative. They'll be here in December 10th. And I just know that feeling that they're in right now. They've sold their house and they're just in this holding pattern, you know? And so I watched them today. They went live today, and it's just like, I just know they can't wait to get here and finally feel like they've achieved, you know what I'm saying, after going through all of the stuff they went through just to prepare themselves for the move. So yeah, I know that feeling. So what's going on with y'all? I know y'all coming back next year for a year, right?
Yeah. So just recently, Carla had to renew her passport or whatever. So I had to go through the whole long process, mail my stuff off, and wait for everything to get in. And these jokers set it up now where you can renew online. And I'm like, like, so I go on there. I mean, I'm just in the season of hating right now. So I go on there and I see, and I was like, so Carla was like, help me do my password. And I go in and I was like, renew online. I'm thinking this is clickbait or something. I'm like, there's no way that we're renewing our passports online. Straight up, you can renew your passport. New pilot program that just started October 14th.
Wow.
So they're going to shut it down again, but they're going to start it back up in November just to see, work out the kinks and everything. But yeah, so ain't no excuse. We getting up out of here.
So so they're going to shut it down and y'all were able to put in your application as
right,
part of the pilot program.
Right. So the first wave of it was for October. They'll shut it down, I think, sometime this week, but then they'll start it back up again in November.
Oh yeah. And so when are y'all planning to is it early 2022? I mean 2023?
Okay, so check this out. So Carla was like talking. She was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to just go on and leave this school system early. And she was, and so she was like, you know what? I'm sick of everything, and I'm with her. I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of them too. You ready to go? Let's go. So she was saying, well, maybe she'll leave the school system in January. I was like, well, if you leaving in January, we leaving in January. We are. So right now, that's the plan. That's the plan B, but plan A is for us to leave in officially in June. But man, June is so far away. I feel like
an eternity when you're trying to wait.
Yeah.
we talked to a sister today working at the American school, and when she started running out the perks, I was like, well, what an application that I could teach Jim or something.
At the American school.
I'll be the little janitor. Like she was like, they pay for relocation, they assist housing. They gave her a loaner car until she buys her own car. And then the place that they put her up, lit. I'm talking about nice. And I was like, well, shoot, I need to get into this teaching thing. You know, I could, I'll teach a little something like at the American school.
Right. Man, I'm telling you, I'm willing to do anything. I had this. I was like, I'm gonna hold up a sign. We'll do whatever to hit FSA. Tell me what you need me to do, and I'll do it so I can get up out of here. But yeah, but you know what? I look back at some of y'all old videos and everything, and Doc, where you was sitting up there looking extra scruffy. You was like, you had them blues so bad. I was like, I can relate to that. I don't want to do nothing to this head. Carla was looking at me, was like, you going through something? I'm like, yeah, I'm going through. I'm ready to get up out of here, man. Yeah. But when this is the thing, like we can always stay in a state of anxiety and depression, but if you don't give yourself something to look forward to, then you stay in that state. So that's one of the things that I'm definitely each and every day looking into other things. What can I do? What other connections I need to make? You know, what do I need to do here so I can make sure that I don't make 10 trips back home like you did? I don't want to go through all that because whatever didn't happen. I'm a refugee then. I'm escaping America.
But I like the way you brought that. I want to say Chespo.
No,
Seppo. I want to make sure I acknowledge you, brother, sister. I'm gonna. But Doc, I appreciate the way you brought in that counseling training of dealing with that anxiety, because I don't know if I've ever shared this on the channel, but that time, the time between selling the house and getting our visas and being able to, getting our passports back and being able to leave was one of the most anxious and nerve-wracking times, because I sold my house. So I made a huge decision, right? I was homeless, technically, right? I mean, we always had parents or whatever have you, but that feeling of, but it was more than that. It was like this lulling, right? It was this pulling to return to SA. We had this conversation with Darren, his brother Darren. He and his wife and his son came to visit SA, and he said he woke up the next morning after arriving in Josie, and he was like, "Do you feel like you're away from home?" And she was like, "No." And that's the thing about it. We've been here all of this time, and we've yet to feel like we're far away from home. Every once in a while, it kind of dawns on you that you can't jump in the car and go up the street. But for the most part, in the day-to-day, it feels like so normal, so familiar, so home-like. But it was that, like I said, I had that pulling, and this, it was a part of anxiety. Like, damn, I'm really in a different situation. But we had jobs, we had money, so we wasn't like too stressed. But it was just like, I'm so ready to go. I'm ready to leave, and I feel like they holding this up with my visa. I need to be there. I would see people. I remember Dr. Bennett and his wife and Josh and them visited, and I was in the state of hate, right? I was like, I can't believe they over there. We talked to you, and you and your wife were in Cape Town. I was like,
that hate is real. Boy, that's some transferring of energy right there. That hate jumps through the computer screen and just latches onto you. And now I got this funk on me, and I'm ready to shake it too. Yeah. No, but go ahead.
I was like, let me go through some of these comments I want to miss. Let's see. Imagine getting dribbled by June. That's wild. What's up, family? Chilling with the Charles said they will be here in January for a month. So look, they out your way. They're actually in Houston. right? And
Oh,
Katy.
okay.
They're in Katy right now.
Yep.
They
Okay.
visited Cape Town earlier this year, I believe, and they fell in love. He and his wife fell in love with it. They got a great channel called Chilling with the Charleses. Y'all check them out. The Undertaker's hat, oh, it's from WWE wrestler. Yeah, yeah, but I'm a Rock fan. Shout out to the Rock. Do you smell what
Okay.
the Rock is cooking?
Black,
Somebody said,
Black Adam, but was it Black Adam is coming out?
oh
The
yeah, yeah, I can't wait to see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be on.
As I said, we'll be in Cape Town, then we'll be in Josie. That's Chilling with the Charleses. Another night, power went out at 6 and came back on the next morning at he said the other night the power went on. So
That's long
prepare yourself,
time.
Doc, because load shedding is real.
Yeah.
Like so many people told us, how are you going to deal with load shedding? How are you going to deal with load shedding? We was like, man, we from New Orleans. Hurricanes come, we'll be without power, a week, 2 weeks, whatever have you. But load shedding is a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal, right? Now we have an inverter, which is basically a big battery that is able to run everything in our house. So at home, we don't feel it.
Yeah.
But the moment you leave outside, like I don't know if it's load shedding or not right now, but it's real when you look outside and everything is dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is pitch black. Or you're driving down the street and all of the they call them robots here, but the stoplights are out. And it's just like,
Or you're in the mall,
Mm.
in the line about to buy your stuff,
Mm.
and the
Mm.
whole place goes black just for a few seconds.
yeah.
But then the
Right.
lights come back on, but it takes their system
down,
like
yeah.
15
Right.
minutes to reboot for you to use your card, and you have somewhere to be. That's
Yeah.
just a story. I was like,
We-
oh.
Last night we went to a restaurant and we were sitting down, kids with us, we eating, the music playing, they're playing little Stevie Wonder. We was like, oh yeah, that's the vibe.
What?
Boom, boom.
Lights out.
And
They
then
came back on.
they came back on like 30 seconds
30
later.
later.
Yeah, like, but it just the whole vibe killed. Zoom.
You gotta
I was
schedule. You gotta schedule your fun. You gotta schedule it. Because if not, the DJ will be interrupted. Yeah. Yeah. No, we experienced that. We experienced that. Even with ordering on like Uber Eats or whatever, and you you place an order and you get your menu all together and you push pay, click to pay, then it goes nope. Because that restaurant may be affected by the load shedding.
Yeah.
So then it shuts down your whole order. You done got your mouth ready for some chicken, and then now you can't get your chicken and your chips. You know what I mean? So
Shout out to
yeah.
them chips, boy. Them chips gonna get us fat, boy.
I'm working on my cholesterol right now, just so I can be ready for when I come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth, how you said?
Seppo.
Seppo, you here?
Shout out to ESCOM with load shedding. I have to say though, family, good evening first.
Good evening.
Good
evening,
evening.
You know, I remember one of your lives. You said that South Africans can be a bit harsh with their country, the way we tend to criticize it.
Yeah.
The thing is, the truth is, we have about 400 years worth of coal in stock that can provide electricity over that period. So the issues that we are facing right now with regards to our power supply are all maintenance related, as well as on an administrative level, how the business has been run. ESCOM used to be the world's #1 SOE that's ran by a state. That means that it was the most efficient business that was ran by a state, and it at some point it also had a black man at the helm. So for it to come from being one of the most successful SOE in the world to now famous with load shedding is a bit sad. That is one of the reasons why we tend to be so critical with regards to what how we would like our country to progress.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's a I guess you could say a period that we also all have to survive, all have to adapt to for a while we get those solutions in place, while we somehow our country goes through this period where a different type of leadership can be elected. You know, for us to be able to move forward, we first have to recognize the kind of people that we don't want in our leadership. Because if everything is rosy, everything is going well, then people can mismanage, people can do whatever that they want because we'll be very comfortable with how the country's run instead of being critical. So for all our American guests or all our diaspora that comes to the country, I do understand the frustrations that you'll encounter when you come around, but we know better. Load shedding, we never had load shedding before 2010.
Oh wow.
So those are the things that you also have to consider, that this is sort of man-made. It's something that was intentionally created by those who we elected, those we put our trust in. And hence the criticism is it becomes harsher as it goes. And it's said that a shining light can be dimmed by the actions of those who have individual intentions instead of putting our country first. But with that being said, I'm glad that a lot of the diaspora is actually recognizing Africa. You know, today I was with a friend who's also an American, but he's a white guy. And we were watching a tape of college football.
Okay.
Now I recognize what most of you guys have been saying when you say that in the US, you tend to go to a restaurant and then you are the only one there. And when I watch those stands, I can tell you then I recognize exactly what you guys have been talking about, how predominantly all the
Alabama
people,
game.
I think it was something Clemson and something.
Oh,
We watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it was all orange and it was all white. And it looked scary to me when I watched it. So I do understand where you come from when you're saying that. And another perspective that I suppose you would find when you get customized to the country is that Africans as a whole, we are very spiritual. So when you land, there are things that you recognize spiritually or feel or connect with that you probably haven't connected with before. And within your experience, you probably try and see if you can find exactly what does it mean? What is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I'm experiencing? How am I so calm? Why do I feel like I belong?
Yeah.
As you said, you'll be searching, wondering, do I feel like I'm away from home? And yet, the truth is, this is your home. You might have been a guest and a visitor or born in a land that belongs to someone else, but this is your home. So you have a natural connection to this land, regardless of where you come from, whether it's Jamaica, whether it's the Europe or the US. This is where you make a natural connection because your people, your ancestors, they come from here. And for us, why it's so easy for us to welcome those who were taken by force is because we know that the first group of peoples who left this continent, those people, the one thing that they always long for is a trip back home.
There you go. There you go.
And as the generations go, you tend to forget, you tend to climatize and adapt to your environment. But the fact is, when one of us dies, Africans, we tend to go and fetch that person's spirit. And all the people who were taken by force and enslaved, those spirits are still yet to be retrieved from the lands of those foreign lands that they were taken to. That is why it is an immediate connection when you come back, because as one of my cousins used to say, is that they find it strange that there was a time when the diaspora would love to go on cruise ships.
Mhm.
When a ship used to be an instrument of enslavement.
Yeah.
If you recognize that, you would understand that when you get on a cruise ship as an African person, then you would be by yourself because your ancestors are not going to join you on that ship, because there are people there are souls who are still left in the Pacific, because that ship was too heavy and they had to offload a chain gang of Africans so that they can be able to reach their destination. Those souls are still around that area where those chain gangs were offloaded so that the ship can survive a storm or something of a sort. So it makes sense then when you come back spiritually, that flight that you take, you will not be by yourself. Your entire clan, your entire spiritual people will be with you on that flight back. That's what we believe when we look at things spiritual. And just as much as we are spiritual, we are also a modern society. That means we also get on Twitter, we can also get on Zoom, we can also work in an office, we can also brainstorm strategies to make this country better and so forth. And it will make a very easy connection with our American, Caribbean, European diaspora on a business platform, because we are also inclined in that way too. So I can only hope the best for everyone who comes back to Africa, and we can build Africa. When the United States sends their people, their representative, their politicians to come and create rapport with South Africa on a political level, that means that they are aware that South Africa is one of the major players into Africa. If you create a good relationship with African countries, you would have the same relationship that China and Russia has with Africa. And we can recognize all of that. We can see when our president becomes the first one to go and visit the new king, which is King Charles.
Yeah.
Why suddenly so Africa is given such a preference, such a
prominent position?
Absolutely, yes, correct. Because Africa is important, and it's becoming important because Africa is not the same as some of those countries which belong to NATO, which belongs to some of these old groups who were involved in creating this so-called New World Order. Africa has an individualism that now needs to be brought into picture, because China and Russia, they've recognized this a long time ago. And now the West actually now recognizes that now is the time to actually bring Africa on board. Now that means that Africa now has that cachet that everybody wants.
Right.
So
right.
that is where now it's important that the diaspora recognizes each other, that we first have to make that connection before we make a connection with other people, because you don't know what their motives are. They will smile at you, they will be friendly, they will provide all the money and the support and the resources that you require. But if they have ulterior motives, you'll never know. But if you connect with the people that look like you, that think like you, that enjoy the same things as you, that is where you know that you can create a much more stable continent that belongs to Africans.
Definitely, brother.
That's my perspective. Thank you, guys.
Man, you said so. First of all, let me say this. I enjoy, not that I don't enjoy talking to my African American brothers, but I've had more like stimulating conversation. I guess my friends, we know each other so long, so all our conversations are like real ignorant. But all our conversations are always ignorant. But I really appreciate talking to my South African family, because there's always a depth, right, to their conversation. And I think this brother touched on so many things. And for instance, early on, as you were talking, it made me think about Black American relationship with the Democratic Party, right? So I stay out of South African politics because I'm not a citizen. It's not my place, right? I chose to be here. If I think it's that bad, I'll go somewhere else, right? But I can see the similarities between Black South Africans in the ANC and African Americans in the DNC, right? And how there should be some stronger accountability on the end of African Americans as it relates to the Democratic Party and the promises that were made to us, whether it was through Obama, whether it was through Bill Clinton, whether it's through Joe Biden. That spiritual part, right? That spiritual part is so profound. My brother Easy said, I believe he put it like when you buy a German car, you buy an Audi, you don't take that Audi when something goes wrong with that Audi, you don't take it to like a shade tree mechanic, you take it back to the dealership, the manufacturer. So there may be within Black Americans a spiritual malfunction, right? Whether we recognize it or not. And returning to the continent, even just for a visit, is a way of correcting that spiritual malfunction, taking it back to the manufacturer, right? But the most important part that you said was, as you talked about the transatlantic slave trade and those souls that may have been dumped over, and keep in mind, some jumped over. Some said, I'd rather die. I see this ain't right. They didn't even have to go to make it to land to see that whatever they were experiencing on that boat was not right. They'll try to swim back to Africa, right? So two things. When I tell people I wanted to come back to Africa, some people said, well, no, your people helped build America. And I said, that's true. And we have every right to the United States of America. That's our land. We put in the blood, sweat, and tears in the 400 years of free labor to create the wealth of the United States of America. Any Black person that wants to stay, I don't think they fools. They have a right to stay there and to be there. But I think about that ancestor that was on that boat. As he was coming over, as she was coming over, and she was chained, and she got to some strange place in Jamestown, Virginia, or in New Orleans, Louisiana, or in Charleston, South Carolina, and they got off the boat. They didn't speak the language. Some strange white man has a whip and is beating them and moving them in and out and about, checking their teeth, holding their eyes open, bend over, and let me see how strong your legs are, and all of this good stuff. And I know when that person first arrived and after going through all of that, they laid down that night, and in their mind was, man, I wish I could be back home. And it is that spirit that I carry with me. It is that hope and that aspiration of that ancestor who went through that middle passage, right? And I want to go back to the middle passage, but who went through that middle passage with dreams of returning home. And they may have lived and died for the rest of their lives as a slave on this land, but they told their children, no, we're not from here. No, we're from this place. And you are this person. And you come from this lineage, right? And that child grew up thinking to themselves, man, I want to go to the land of my ancestors. But you're right. Somewhere along the way, we get complacent. Somewhere along the way, we forgot. And somewhere along the way, we just begin to adjust to our environment and our condition. And we had a fight on our hands here. So it was hard to focus on the continent when we had to fight, for survival of our very existence here. Right. But as we talk about the middle passage, I think it's profound to understand that the middle passage wasn't a place, it was a process. Right. It wasn't a place, it was a process. The middle passage is not in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It was the process of breaking down the African mind and building up the NIGGER. You understand what I'm saying? So now we have to go back through the middle passage and denigify. Many of us in the diaspora and here we have to go back and denigify and regain our African mind, right? So as much as I want the diaspora to return, I want them to return again deniggified. And I'm not saying that all of my people are just the N-word. What I'm saying is that what has happened to us was intentional to break us from what we were and to make us into what we are. And what we are can be very beautiful. It can be very enticing and very intelligent and all of these great things. And it could also be very dark. It could also be very ugly. It could also be very shameful in many ways. And the stuff that was given to us is sometimes reflected in the way we treat each other. Right? So I thank you, brother, for coming on. How you say his name again? Seppo. Seppo. I don't know why she knows, but I thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna let Doc Nick. I don't know how you want to respond to that.
Well, let me tell you something. You boy, when you speak, I didn't have to go to church today. You gave me a word right there. You know what? The middle passage was a process. It wasn't just a physical manifestation thing or a physical process. It was psychological. And you know what? A lot of us today, a lot of African Americans today are dealing with what I considered hand-me-down Stockholm syndrome, where we assimilate and we empathize with our oppressors. And even though they say, oh, you know, slave masters ain't around today, but their systems are still alive.
Right.
You know, and so we're navigating in that space to where, you know, I'm quite sure my ancestors wanted to go back home, but somewhere along the line in my lineage, we became comfortable with being here and then seeing our natural home as this distant, undesirable place. Well, I felt like it's my responsibility to change all that up and share the knowledge that I have with my family and other families and say, hey, you know, what you're thinking right now and how you're feeling right now about Africa was told to you to feel that way. Yeah. You have to go back home with the mindset of saying, I'm open to receive. And we cannot learn and we cannot adjust and we can't do anything until we're in that state of receiving. Understanding you don't understand it all, but be prepared to know more than what you know today. So yeah, like it is a duty. I look at being back home, and when I say be back home, I'm speaking of on the continent. Being back home was my duty. When I joined the military here, and I showed up wherever they said show up. I did whatever they said do. I went and fought in wars that they said was my war to fight. And who am I to now deny my ancestral right, which is going back to the motherland and doing my duty there? So it's deep for many of us. And some of us is on, you know, it's just, hey, I just want to go on a vacation. But when you go on that vacation, go with the mind open to receive what you don't know.
Absolutely.
So, I think in addition to that, I almost feel like for some of us, it's a calling in a way. So I didn't grow up in an Afrocentric family. I didn't have family members that knew or talked about Marcus Garvey or any of that. In fact, I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, and I lived on a side of town where there were very few Black people. So what was interesting is that there was always a strong interest that I had in going to Africa. And who knows where that came from, right? We talked about ancestors. And I started visiting the Caribbean before I ever got to Africa. But my experiences in the Caribbean were so Afrocentric, you know, from Martinique and them talking about the negritude movement that pointed back to their Blackness and rediscovering their connection to Africa in the Francophone Caribbean world, and then going to Haiti and learning about all of the strong minds and Black-centered minds in Haiti. It's like the entire path was pointing back to this continent. And at one point, you know, somebody was like, well, what's your passion? I was like, well, wow, I just, the only thing that really interests me strongly is like Africa, or people who talk about our connection to Africa. Like that's a passion. But can traveling to a place be a passion? You know, like it was very strange. And even when we couldn't travel, and there's this long space between when I could go and when we could go back, there was always a desire that never went away. It was a constant desire. So if I couldn't be in Africa or visit, I was reading, I was studying.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube. We were talking about it. And so where does this passionate and strong desire come from and people not putting it into you? So
Right.
I think that was the power of what he said when he's talking about the souls
Spiritual,
in your
yeah.
ancestors. It's like, I don't know where this deep
It's
interest
that
come
calling.
from. And not everybody has it. Not every
Right.
Black American has an interest in Africa.
Mhm.
You talk to half of them, it's like,
They don't, they don't
You have to you have to be willing to receive. You know,
Right.
if you are blocked off and stuff, and you hit it on to something where it's like you don't know why you're being pulled and stuff in a certain direction, but you allow yourself to go with the flow. And this
Right.
is what we do in life, period. You know, when it comes out to our careers, when it comes out to I'm finna go somewhere. When it comes down to, I'm finna do that therapy thing.
Go ahead. Get into it.
But when you are feeling compelled to do something, and it's not something that's really within your norm, but it's like you have this gravity push, this pull. Sometimes we fight it. We fight it because we don't understand it. We don't know what it means. But when you yield and say, I'm willing to receive, I'm willing to explore whatever this is, that is the moment when you are on the path of following your passion and your purpose, discovering what that is. You said that place, going to a place, can a place be your passion? Can a place be your purpose? It's a part of the plan to get you on your path to your purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do think it's so she said she wasn't raised with the Black stuff. I grew up in the Black Baptist church. We had Black history, and we had Black History Quiz Bowl, and there was Jesus on the wall, and there was Dr. Martin Luther King. I come from the fan had Dr. King on the fan, right? So we come from that Black civil rights tradition, but Africa wasn't the centerpiece, but Blackness was, right? So I remember, like, I was a poet long before I was Dr. Assad. I was a poet, right? And my poetry centered around Africa. I wrote this piece that explained our trip from Africa to the US and how we became who we were, whatever have you. But never in my mind did I think I would end up not even let alone living, but even visiting the continent. So watch how in our language, Allah works, right? He brings us together again, right? So there was a time when we were together, and there's a time when we were apart. When I reach out to her, where is she? She's in Mali, West Africa, right?
And what did you ask me?
I said, I said, you're in Africa. Do you feel blacker?
That thing's silly.
Yeah. But with that being said, it was my wife who was you talking all this Egyptology and
right.
The Negroes built the pyramids. Well, here, she bought me a ticket to go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Then she's in Tanzania, right? And that awakened my, like, dang, I've been to the continent. I've been there, and I thought that would have satisfied that, right? I've been to Egypt, I've been to East Africa, but it didn't go away. And as she mentioned, there was a long time when we was just broke. We had no money.
That was the last for a while.
The brother mentioned taking a cruise. Hey, we want to take a cruise. We're like, if we save up $100 a month, in 4 years, we can have a cruise. That's our struggle. That's the struggle.
We got to get our emergency savings first.
Right. But none of that stopped the pull, that gravitational push that you talked about, to want to be on the continent. And it wasn't until my visit to Johannesburg. Now, Johannesburg won't be for everybody. Somebody's going to visit Ghana. I know a brother, Dr. Samari from New Orleans. He moved to Ghana, and he went to Ghana one time, came back to New Orleans. He was like, yeah, by the way, I'm about to pack my stuff and I ain't never coming back. Yeah. So he moved to Ghana. So it won't be Johannesburg for everybody. But when I got to Johannesburg, I said, this is where I need to be. Now, it took us 2 years almost, well, 2 years, fully 2 years, right?
Yeah.
To see that, come into being. But I knew I needed to be here. Now, what work I need to do while I'm here It's still coming. It's still being shown to me. But what I do know is that I've been embraced. So I think another thing that we need to dispel while we're on this call is that false narrative that Africans don't like African Americans or vice versa, right? Because we were told that, they don't like you anyway, and all that type of stuff. So I have never encountered a South African that has made me feel unwelcome or that questioned my Africanness or anything like that. And it's made me feel any kind of way other than welcome, right? Welcome with open arms and that spirit of Ubuntu. Is that how you say it, family? Ubuntu. That spirit is alive and well in the South African people. And we saw it in our big mamas. And we saw it in our papas and our granddaddies and Medea and all them who had that spirit of welcoming the stranger, welcoming those back home. We see it in the biblical story of the prodigal son who went away. And although we didn't blow our inheritance was stolen, but now we're back home, right? And South Africa acts as that loving father who make a feast for him. You understand what I'm saying? Make a feast for him, let him eat. He's back home and happy to see us back. So Seppo, shout out to you, brother. You got that Farrakhan spirit in him. Negro sound like Farrakhan enough. I thought he was going to give me with the salams, you hear me? But let's see. Let's go through some of these because we missed buku comments.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back to.
You actually got to put
repost
the thing back in the chat because you put it so long ago.
Yeah, let me post this back in the chat, y'all. Somebody made fun of me and my not understanding the Zoom, but I'm an old man. Please be patient with me. What that song said? Please be patient with me. God is not true with me.
You know what, and Adrian,
all right, we got the link.
I was letting Adrian, I don't want you to feel like you out there alone on that lack of black awareness when you were growing up. When I grew up, those little baby hairs I had in the back of my head was because I had an Indian in me. That's the kind of environment I grew up in. That's the kind of environment I grew up in. So I honestly I grew up. I think my knowledge of Africa came from me just loving geography and history but I did not tap into that deeper spiritual part of what it means to be black in America until I became a combat veteran and I found myself in Iraq. And that was my moment of enlightenment. And so from there, I've always been on this trajectory of learning more and understanding more. But yeah, I can go down my whole ancestry on from the slave master that dipped and tipped into my family bloodline, and I can go through his whole that whole lineage back to Wales in 1625. I can trace that, but I can't trace my third time.
I guess we might.
Is it us?
Are we?
Or is it Nikki?
Let's see. No, Seppo. It's us.
It's us.
Hey, Fed.
Okay.
Yeah,
can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so it might be Doc Nikki who froze on us. Oh, Doc, come back. She may come back. Well, in the meantime, let's look at these comments and see what's going on. Anybody else want to jump in? I just put the link in the thing.
Yeah,
so Doc. Okay, Doc Nikki,
hopefully she comes back. She was on a roll too.
She was. She'll jump back on. So let's see. Oh God, how many comments did we miss? If South Africa, okay, let's see. Okay, Friday night, Saturday nights. Okay, imagine getting dribbled by Zoom. That's why.
I already read that.
Okay, all right. We pay. Okay.
Yeah.
I found some places in SA that don't load shed. I talked to a brother last night. He said he lives in Pretoria, and in his community, there's no load shedding. Congratulations to you at Caleb. I was there. I saw there was a launch. Okay, I guess he's saying I just saw there was a launch of the first NBA store in Africa, there in South Africa. Somebody sent me a link to that maybe yesterday or today. Yep. Mm-hmm. How did Adrian know how to pronounce that? Because she's smart. That is true. Some areas do not know what load shedding is. I think I talked to a white lady who lives near Hardy's, maybe in Pecan. Is it Pecan Wood or something like that?
She didn't live in Pecan Wood. She was somewhere else, but it was not too
far from Hardy's. But she said she didn't experience load shedding at all. Something about the water, maybe the water pumps being connected to the generator that runs the whatever. So like if load shedding took place, there would also be no water. So her area didn't get load shedding either. Somebody said the ANC be embarrassing us. I think, it's just as again, I stay away from South African politics because I don't feel it's my place, but accountability in all politics is important. Mm-hmm. Might say this load shedding is embarrassing us. It's making it hard. I'm trying to tell Negroes to come over here. And they say you in the dark.
It's not stopping them. It is not stopping them.
No. I saw BAS, J. Cole's label, who's touring in SA, tweeted that he even got the load shedding app. He's been in SA for a while, and he's used to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Seppo is very articulate, very, very. Somebody said that brother spitting fire. Yep. Yeah, he was. Escom needs to be privatized. Stop this. This is a monopoly to create competition. Let other service providers. Now I can say, okay, let's go down right there. I could say that in New Orleans, where I'm from, they have one energy provider, and it's called Entergy. Mm-hmm. And Entergy sucks. So yeah, shout out to competition, because Energy raises rates and all kind of old foolishness, and you can't do nothing. You can't go to nobody else. So this guy has very important points. He did have very important points. Somebody says, I've been to South Africa. I've been twice to South Africa this year, and I get the sense of feelings that I belong there. Guess it's a spiritual thing too. And I'll be back again in a few months, hoping to move there very soon. Shout out to Floyd's Recipes. I think good luck, so. Floyd. Yeah, good luck on your journey, brother. I think so many Black Americans, once they touch down in South Africa, next thing they figure out first is how to return. When am I going to come back? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then secondly, they start thinking about how can I move here? Right? A lot of them start thinking like that. Seppo, I had goosebumps listening to you. Wow, that was deep. Tell you gave the Farrakhan vibe, Cape Town is here, just checked in. Shout out to Cape Town. I always wondered if their spirit is resting, hence all this typhoons and disasters. I wonder because Africa as a continent never experienced what other continents experience. Some people said it's the hurricane returning. Right? When them hurricanes come off the coast of Africa, they coming back mad. I be like, but then why are you gonna destroy my city? We have put all these Negroes. No, don't do that. It's a spiritual thing. We gotta go Black to the future. Facts. Seppo was preaching. Hey family, greetings all the way from Cape Town. Back to the land of Ubuntu. Powerful conversation to reconnect, relearn. Sentu. Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. You're putting an M. You're saying like Ubuntu, but it's Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. They're all in the chats like phonetically spelling. This one he said Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. I don't know. Look now. Y'all be patient with me. We hear you guys. But wait, somebody said the FBI intercepted the most important conversation.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Channel, man.
See what I'm saying? I said that
somebody sent me some stuff talking about Google sent them a message asking them if they watched one of our videos and to rate it. I said, okay, I'm about to stop this YouTube, man. I don't need the fans messing with me. I don't need it. Yes, all African languages have the word, the Bantu word, or I'm not.
Shout out to Josie Gold.
Josie Gold, what it do, man? Man, I wish I could have reached out to you because I had this webinar. We had the academicians on there, but we needed a strong South African voice, brother. And you be deep in that politics. So I wish I could have reached out to you, man. If you get an opportunity, man, send me a email at asadelmalik@gmail. Hello, did not get the memo. In this winter, London will have 3-hour cuts. I think power cuts are coming to everybody.
To a city near you.
Josie goes. I meant to say, do you know any co-working space with backup solar generation? Different. So I know for sure in Rosebank there's a co-working space. I'm sure they have many others, but I know for sure because I've seen it. Me and Mance have been trying to put together a beach party in Cape Town, the Great Return. Tell Mance to holler at a guala. You understand what I'm saying?
Holla at your guala.
Tell him to holler. Yeah, I work with him. I could do beach parties. You know what I'm saying?
What is a guala?
Don't worry about that. If we're from where I'm from, don't worry about that. Privatizing would be a huge cost to lower class who can't even pay $1 for electricity benefits. Okay, UK has blackouts. Shout out to Sister Adrian. They just jockeying you now.
Oh,
Cape Town, appreciate you guys. Adrian is South African. Okay, y'all just jock out. I personally think Adrian has South African DNA. I got South African DNA. She ain't got no South African DNA. I got the South African DNA. I can show you. Go back to my channel where it says a size African cousin, and I'm related to Nelson Mandela. My DNA said me and Nelson Mandela 200,000 years ago got an ancestor that was the same person, right? So that's my cousin. I got the South African DNA. Facts. She ain't got no South African DNA. Y'all hating, man. Man, let me get off the slide. Doc, you were in the middle of saying something that profound. They said the FBI cut you off, so I don't know if you want to jump back on.
You had jumped into combat veteran, and that's when.
Okay. Look. My mama, when I was in Iraq, my mom was like hearing helicopters. She said, "You okay?" I'm hearing stuff up there. I was like, "Girl, you live next to an airstrip, but you tripping? Ain't nobody worried about me. Ain't nobody checking for me." But yeah, it's like, some of us we are born into that level of awareness, and some of us life experiences. If somehow or another you get back on track and learning who you are, whose you are, and where you come from. So I think for me that having that eye-opening experience when I was in Iraq, and really just understanding to the degree of what my ancestors went through for me to be here. Because when you're in the military, especially as a Black woman, you do not belong there. They know that you do not belong in that space. So then there comes some shedding of you being a woman to operate in the space of toxic masculinity. So I had to go through a whole bunch of eye-opening experiences and stuff when I was at war, not just as a woman, but a Black woman in a space in which I did not belong. So, but yeah. So Adrian, I grew up in a home where we know all about our white ancestors, but anything going to your great-great-grandfather, don't nobody know who that was, or your great-great-grandmother. You don't know. So
no. That I think it's the same in most black households. We want to find out that Indian ancestor. Everybody got that Indian ancestor. Who was it? I think it was your great. They say she had long straight hair.
Yeah. And that's compliments of Madam C.J. Walker and that press kit. That's why that hair was straight. That's why your hair was straight. Look at her pic. Look at those pictures. They was looking all nice with that long hair. Baby, they got their 5 cents and went and got that pressing curl kit.
That pressing curl, that special cream, but it's like so many of us will latch on to, just the other day we both were looking at our DNA results again from 23andMe, and I still have that 80% sub-Saharan African.
Oh,
I look, 83% 86% sub-Saharan African, and then it's like the rest of that percentage is broken down between British West Isles and Sri Lanka. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Yeah, and then I got not 1% Native American. I got 0.1. And what is funny is that my DNA probably looks like the majority of Black, maybe not the Sri Lanka and Pakistan. That's some weird stuff. I don't know where that came from. But most Black Americans are going to have 70, 80% sub-Saharan African, a lot of European, because, the masters creeped in on one of our great, somebody said, you had that, you got white blood. That means your great-great-grandfather was a white rapist, right? So you got that white blood in you or whatever have you. But we will latch on to that 12%, that 13% of the British West Isles. Oh, look, I have Portuguese. I need to go to Portugal.
Right.
Wait a minute. You ain't see that you 80% Nigerian?
Right.
You Facts. Gold and Congo.
Facts.
You didn't see any of that.
Facts.
You saw Portugal and France and all that type of stuff and said, I need to go there.
Wait. Huh? Somebody said your pronunciation comes from that 14%. I got jokes. That's cold.
That's all right. That's all right.
Cold.
Listen, we was having a very long conversation with our children about pronunciation and language, right? So my children go to a French school, and they were telling me that I say Mardi Gras, and they're like, that's wrong. I was like, it's not wrong. It's like, no, it's Mardi. How you say it? Mardi Gras. And I'm like, ain't nobody in New Orleans say no Mardi Gras. We say Mardi Gras. And so they said, well, this is the way the French say it. I said, oh, now watch this. What language you speak? We speak English, right? I said, well, you don't sound like them people in England. Right? Why you
Get
sound
your English up?
Why your English don't sound like Idris Elba? Huh? That boy speaking. Right? But anyway, I'm learning. I'm gonna learn this. Watch. I'm gonna learn these languages and words and whatnot. In about a year, I'm gonna be on here, yibbo, and all that old type of stuff.
Oh, I gotta see this. So you definitely gonna have a translator and everything right next to you to help you through all of that.
I found a lady on YouTube who give like little YouTube lessons, and I was gonna stunt, right? I was gonna fake the funk. I was just gonna learn like 3 greetings from the YouTube channel and jump on here and repeat it. You know what I'm saying? It's like memorize 3 quick greetings and jump on here and repeat it. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna learn it for real. So a sister that we know said she will hook us up with her because she's married a South African brother, and she is learning Zulu. And Izulu. Is it Izulu?
Is he Zulu, I think?
Right. So she's learning it, and she's like, I'll hook you up with my tutor or whatever have you. And like I said, I just want to learn some greetings, some of the basic stuff. Language is definitely her strong point. She has a knack for picking it up and hearing the sounds, and I don't have that knack, so it takes me a long time. It takes me a long time listening to you in English to really process what you're saying. So I already know another language takes a long time, but she got it. As long as one of us, I'm gonna learn something.
That's some good stuff. You know what? That's another way of like really diving in and appreciating the home that you're in. Your home is by just embracing the various cultures, and it starts with language. Food, language. The whole 9 yards. I'm running low on my ketchup. I bought some gold tomato sauce there, and I got just half of a bottle left. And so I feel like I'm becoming more disconnected from South Africa because I don't have I don't have my ketchup. So I need to make a run back so I can feel connected. But I did mine. I did African ancestry and ancestry.com. And boy, it was something when I saw that the vast majority of me comes from Nigeria and from the Fulani and the Hausa people. I was like, when I saw that, boy, I said, let me go find me some. Let me find me some cloth, some Nigerian colors and
some jollof and
just
all that.
look, I was like, I'm diving in. Don't you tell me I ain't Nigerian. And then I looked a little bit more and it said that that the South African region, sub South Africa, that region there, that I was I think it was like 0.3%. I told Carla, see, I'm South African. I told you I was South African. I told you I knew it when I was in Joburg. I was like, I knew it was something. Yeah.
So I don't know how they did it on African Ancestry, but with mine, they showed a map of where you're from. So like hers, it lit up like West Africa. Mine, all of Africa lit up. And then it skipped over the Middle East and it went to India.
When you say her, you mean me? Mine?
Yeah.
No, mine lit up more than just West Africa.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I know all of Africa was all sub-Saharan Africa for me was lit up. Okay, maybe that's how they do it.
Wow.
But I had Bantu, like I had a high percentage of Bantu, Southern Africa. I think they were talking more like maybe where's Angola? Is that in the Central Africa?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
no,
Can I ask a question, guys?
You ain't South African then.
Yeah.
Seppo, what you say?
Yeah, talking about African ancestry, I'm actually wondering how come is it that Australia never seems to be one of the indicators when you get your results, because I recall that there was a time when the brother of one of the pharaohs took a frigate to Australia to go meet the wisdom keepers, which is the first Africans, which are Aborigines. And the Egyptians recognize Aborigines as the first people of this land, or actually of Earth, because they went there to go find their ancestry lineage so that they can actually understand who they actually are. Now, every time when the people of the diaspora do their African ancestry, I recognize European and all these other countries except Australia, whereas Australia should have been one of the primary indicators that you get when you do your lineage tracing, because we all emanate from the Aborigines, because they are the first people, they are the wisdom keepers of our kind. That's just one question that I'm actually wondering, how come that never happens?
Well, I don't know scientifically. I mean, let me say this, the white man science. I don't know, if they got another kind of science, but the white man science says that humanity originated in East Africa, around Tanzania, Ethiopia, that place, and at least Homo sapiens spread out from East Africa, populated the continent, and then crossed over into what they call the Middle East, which is really just Northeast Africa, and then down into India. So when you look at my deep ancestral DNA, we did that with the National Geographic project. You can see my M96 line goes, and I think it's the M96 goes into India. So we made a video here one time about the Indians in South Africa so dark, but it's not anything new. If you read Herodotus, the quote unquote father of history, he said there were two Ethiopian races. Now he called all black people Ethiopian. I guess he said they meant the dark faces or the burn faces. He said there were two Ethiopian races, one around the Nile River and one around the Indus in the Indus Valley, right, or the Indus River. So I'm not sure if, again, this is just what I've read, and I know that a lot of times we've been lied to, but from my understanding is that Homo sapiens originate on this continent, and then they spread out even into Australia, and then across the rest of the world. So for us as African Americans, why does our DNA come from Africa and maybe not Australia? That's probably it. And more specifically, most Black Americans will trace their DNA to somewhere in West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Western Central Africa, right? Because I got a lot of Angola and Congolese, right? Very few, but there are a significant portion who will trace their DNA all the way back to East African places like Mozambique, because those slave ships went around the so-called Cape of Good Hope and started snatching people from as far as Mozambique and bringing them into the Americas. A lot of those people ended up in Central and South America. We know that outside of they're more like those Afro-Brazilians. There's 80 million Afro-Brazilians. So more Africans ended up in Brazil than actually in the United States. But you'll find people like Adrian has like Jamaican ancestry. So somewhere along the line, one of her ancestors stopped off in the Caribbean before they were brought into the United States. So it's hey, listen, we are a strange mix of African. And I think I used to say, well, African American, does that name fit us? Blah, blah, not whether we were denying Africa. I never denied Africa, but the nomenclature. And then I thought to myself, I said, man, when you look at that DNA and you see that we cover these vast amounts of Africa, Congo, Angola, Southern Africa, Eastern, some people have a little East Africa in them or whatever have you. Then when we say we are African American, right? Yeah, we can't say we're from the Congo. We can't say we're from South Africa or we're Zulu or this, but in our DNA, we carry all of Africa from so many portions. We carry the continent in our DNA. So that makes us an African, just buku mixed, but African. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's such a and it's such a beautiful thing when you think about it. Like Alan Locke during the Harlem Renaissance, he coined the phrase "the New Negro." Now, the New Negro was a phrase that was talking about dignity and pride and pushing back against racism and white supremacy with self-sufficiency, right? But I look at the word "the New Negro" as a representation of who we are as African Americans. We are new African on the planet, right? The brother Seppo brought up the Aboriginals, right? When you look at the Aborigines in Australia and Tasmania, man, them people Black, they dark skinned, and for every indicator, you would look at them and say they are Black people, right? Yeah. So they are a new African on the planet, right? And even in Australia, they created their own culture. But it's sidebar. There's a very interesting book and movie called The Rabbit Proof Fence about the Aborigines and how the Europeans who colonized that land would take the certain biracial Aborigines, like would mix with the Aborigines and take the biracial ones and raise them a certain way and kind of as a way of breeding out the natives. So if you look at, you ever heard of the term the Tasmanian devil? Right? That's not a reference to an animal. That's a reference to the European view of the Tasmanian people who were wiped out, no longer exist. You go look up, they got the pictures of the last Tasmanians. They wiped them out, right? Native American, But anyway, man, I'm just rambling now. But yes, Seppo, I don't think we come from Australia. I think we come from I think humanity comes from the continent and from our genes, from the genes of an African created all. That's why Africa is so genetically diverse, right? In our minds, we look at, for African Americans, we think it's got to be a dark skin. Man, look at the Khoi, the San people. Y'all correct me in the comments, but they're light skinned, almost got Asian features, right? Look at our Habesha family. Oh yeah, Asian features, but that's their features. Asian people have their features, right? Look at our Habesha people in East Africa and Somalia and Ethiopia and Eritrea, and that they look like Arabs, right? Africa has the tallest people on earth and the shortest people on earth. You got some of the darkest people, you got light-skinned people, right? You have people with, again, the Habesha have naturally straight hair, and you have people with curly hair and everything in between. Genetic diversity is why the scientists say, or the geneticists say, Africa is the birthplace of humanity, because from us can produce everything, right? We can even produce, they don't call them albinos anymore, but the people with albinism, right? Without any melanin, white people can come from us. You ain't never seen two white people get together produce no black baby, ever. They ain't never got together produce no black baby. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, somebody lying. Somebody lying.
Baby look like the milkman.
Somebody lying. But you know what? That made me think about Micronesia. Is it Micronesia? Out there, Fiji, the Tahiti Islands, and all that stuff. Those people are straight up black, and they have a social structure based off of, like the more wealth that you have. This is their history. More wealth that you had, the bigger your fro was, and then the bigger your pick was. So Fiji definitely has like some amazing Afrocentric culture about themselves. Where it's like, I spoke to one and I was like, I asked the guy, I was like, so help me out with your people. Like, are you descendants of Africa? How did this happen, right? And he was like, well, and I was like, but I just feel like, because of that area, and it's close to Asia, the landmass used to be one. This used to be one large landmass until throughout time broke up and stuff. That's why it's easy for back in the day. They were able to migrate freely without any major issues. So of course we're gonna be everywhere except where it's cold. So but we everywhere. We everywhere.
We populated the earth.
Yeah,
we populated the earth from what we were told. I think that's why the islands are called like Melanesia.
Melanesia, Melanesia,
it's because of the melanin.
Yeah.
And so, but let's see what some of these comments are saying. South creation. Oh, man, that's cold-blooded. My comments just went away. South creation, I saw him say that he's from New Orleans, or his grandfather's from New Orleans and spoke French. That's true. There are people in New Orleans who, like, especially not really New Orleans, but if you go to see their grandmama in Lafayette, and their grandmama gonna greet you saying bonsoir, right? So they're broken. It's not standard French. It is Louisiana French, and these are people who are black as anybody that you would see, but they were raised speaking French. Brother, South Africa got hella albino blacks. I don't think albino is politically correct anymore. I think it's a person living with albinism or something like that. Somebody corrected me. So oh God,
that's gonna be a lot to actually read. Somebody keeps saying, like, tell them that the saints lost, but I don't know if many people on this
and somebody said you talk bad about helping fellow black Africans out. You call me a cool Negro. Let me tell you something.
what are you talking about?
I don't know, but let me tell you something, Negro. I don't even know you, nor do I like you. Calling me names ain't the way to get my attention. But man, listen, my resume speak. Let me tell you something, Negro. Let me sit up. My resume speak for itself when it comes to helping my people, Negro. I got 20 years of feeding the homeless, 20 years of supporting black businesses, 20 years of taking children. Negro, get off my life. Facts. To ever come here and question my credibility amongst my people, to ever do it. Calling me names. See me to my face and call me that name, Negro. Coach, you don't have to do nothing but Google my name and see what I've done for my people. Come on my live calling me names. Coward. Now back to our regular schedule program.
I missed that one, guys.
Yeah, he got what he deserved. Yeah, he got what he deserved.
No, I think he might be like mentally unstable because he kept going on about tough.
I don't care. He on here talking about who cares the Saints lost? Who cares, Negro? Negro don't nobody care. And next you're gonna get blocked. But I don't want to block you. I want to keep your energy there because I want you to see this part. I want you to see it, and I want you to go back to your miserable life. What type of Negro come? I ain't never been on nobody else live talking crazy to him. I don't have that type of time. I don't have that type of time. I don't have that type of energy, right? I ain't never been on somebody else talk bad about Black Americans. I can talk bad about them. I am one. If I want to talk bad about them, I am one. And I done spent my life working for them. So if I want to critique them, who better than me? Who better? Huh? Negro, you gonna come on my live with that foolishness? Who are you? Are you from my city? Do you know me? Huh? Do you know the people I fed? Do you know the businesses I supported? Do you know the people that will call me, brother Side, man, my son locked up. Can you see about helping me get him out of jail? Can you help me find a lawyer? Huh? Do you know about that? You clown? You coward? Don't ever come on my live with that foolishness. Now you done touched listen, I am a warrior by nature. By nature. Don't bring that out of me, son. By nature. Anyway.
You may not need to read no more.
Howard a coward. He both of them. Howard the coward. I don't know his name. I don't know his name. But anyway, where we at here, man? Or maybe he wasn't talking to me.
That's what I was about to say when you first mentioned it.
You know what? Let me.
You don't know the full context. But you went in. You went in though. You was like, I got to put this. I was like,
my bad. He might not have been talking to me.
I don't know the whole context yet.
But no, he been poking the bear for a minute now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
so you didn't get him for what he did just recently. You got him for something you should have got on before. You know, I should have said this to you.
That's why I was saying he might not be stable because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense that he just throws out there. But it seems like attention needed. You know, like
no. So this is why would he be talking about? This is Jules Howard from America. The Saints chumps lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. If you know what I don't care nothing about the Saints, man. Saints ain't wrote me a check ever.
Damn sure don't care about Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I don't care nothing about the Saints, the Bengals, nobody, man. Ain't none of the people wrote me no check. There probably isn't any real Saints fans in South Africa. Yeah, probably not.
God.
Yeah, I don't care nothing about that. That's what he said. So yeah, he was talking about helping fellow Black Americans out.
He got the attention he was looking for.
Now you got the attention you wanted. You wanted the attention, I gave it to you. Tell the South Africans to say,
I told you, I don't think he's very stable. That's
let me remove. No, let's put this user in timeout. Let's say put the user in timeout. That's what you're doing, retarded children. You put them in timeout.
Don't stop now. Stop. Ooh, I wish there was a delay.
Hey, family, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all know I can get a little, you know, it's always bubbling under the surface.
They don't really know.
But you know what? Okay, then this makes me ask you a question then. Because you did become very passionate about something that triggered you. Is that something so we're gonna have a session real quick. Is that something that you've been challenged on before about regarding how much work you do or your representation
never.
of okay.
Never. So I live in a city where the people know me.
Gotcha.
They know what I do. I posted the other day on the YouTube 7 years ago. We was renting buses to take Black people around to they made the newspaper to take Black people around to Black-owned businesses. I've been putting in work for my city. So that's why, because this person, that boy there, Jules, he followed me on Facebook. So that's why I have the authority to to call out my people when I see something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When I see you running through my community with AK-47s killing grandmamas, I'm gonna call you a bunch of cowards. I'm gonna say that the white man need to lock you up because you are terrorizing our community. When my mama, 83 years old, can't sit on the porch because she's afraid somebody's gonna hit her in her head, I'm gonna call out the community, right? Because I have the social capital, I have the credibility. So he was on the thing before, you know. So what he's really upset about, if you want to know the context, I have been critical of rap music. Highly critical. And I think you see it on my Facebook. I have been highly critical of rap music. I grew up listening to rap. I grew up listening to hip hop, and I think it is just slavery, crack, and then rap. It is just some of the worst things that has happened to us. Now I can get into the whole, you know, it's an axiological war that has eroded our ethics and our aesthetics, right? But really what it has made us fall in love with the worst thing that we can, like the worst of us. So we know it's not all rap music, but we're talking about 70-80% of the content that's put out. And this is not my numbers. These are the numbers of people who've done thematic analysis, right? Of the content is about violence, it's about drug use, it's about misogyny, right? It's about prison culture. So we have just these, so when I begin to call it out, some of my people are so passionate about rap because they feel like if you're calling out rap, you're calling out Black culture, right? And I'm saying this ain't really who we are. This ain't who my big mama was. This ain't who my mama was. My mama wasn't
not who I am.
My mama wasn't a thought bending it over and twerking. That's not the culture that we come from. You see what I'm saying? My daddy ain't talk about shooting nobody and killing nobody and never sold drugs. He got up every day, put on his hard hat, grabbed his little lunch pail, and he went to work for 12 hours. Those are Black people. Those are the people that we come from. So when I begin to critique rap music, and he jumped on there in his feelings. So we would argue back and forth or whatever have you. And I guess somehow he tied me moving to South Africa into like disliking Black Americans or disliking my people because I have a critique of some of the stuff that we do in our own community. But in terms of being challenged on it, I can't think of nobody not from New Orleans. Now, maybe people who don't know me. You see what I'm saying? Like people who don't know me be like, well, what have you done for your community? But then people in that city know, hey, he loves us. He loves us a lot. And we don't always agree with what he says, but he's somebody that we can count on when it's time to do, time to do marches, when it's time to do whatever, he's somebody we can call on. We were doing, when my child was 2 years old, we was doing free breakfast programs. I had a poetry show. I told you I'm a poet. I would tell them, look, if you bring in a breakfast item to my poetry show, I won't charge you. So if you bring in bread, eggs, or whatever have you, you come to the poetry show free. The poetry show is on Friday, Saturday morning. We jump up, cook breakfast, feed people in the community.
Oh, sound like the new Black Panther.
That's what I ain't creating nothing new. I'm just following the blueprint that's been laid out. You see what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So coming over here doing the meetups, right, and supporting Black-owned businesses. This ain't nothing I just started doing in South Africa. I was doing that in New Orleans. So ask them. That's what I'm saying. Ask them business owners when we bring in 70 people to their business, and they thank you so much, brother Asad. Man, we thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? When the mom was calling me on Facebook, sending me inboxes because they know I worked at the court system. My son is locked up. Can you tell me what his charges are? Can you find him for me? Can you talk to him? Can you tell me what lawyer to find? Can you talk to the judge for him? Yeah. So if I tell you, yo, knucklehead son got caught with an AK-47 and he deserved to be in jail, yeah, that's just true. Right. Yeah, that's just the truth. Right. So, I mean, it's kind of off the subject, but yeah, I don't like nobody poking me. And he been poking and poking and poking. He was poking on Facebook and he was poking on here. So he got what he wanted. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? That passion ain't that. He got what he wanted. You understand what I'm saying? Because by nature, I'm fighting against systems, right? I can't go out here and kill white people and all that. Oh, I'm not Black Panthers, right? I'm gonna take the blueprint that they have and lay it down. But the same fight that they were fighting, that's the warrior spirit that's in me. That's the warrior spirit. I'm fighting against systems of oppression for people in Africa, people in New Orleans, wherever I've been. Like I ain't lived nowhere else but them two places. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, Doc. So I don't know if you need to write me a prescription.
No. I think you you know, I am now prepared for when you are passionate. That I'm gonna hold up my church finger real quick and excuse myself. But I think somebody made the comments about everybody got quiet. I showed it. I was like, am I,
I mean,
am
I told y'all I'm recalcitrant.
yeah.
I'm confrontational and all that type of stuff. But you got to be that way if you want to get something done.
If you don't believe it, yeah.
If you don't believe it, you ain't gonna really achieve it. And like I'm saying, I believe in what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I believe in what I'm saying. I believe in what I'm doing for people. I don't just do it just for fun of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I really and what happened? And see, my wife knows
that thing is quick tempered though.
Yeah, my wife.
I started laughing because I've seen all that, so it's like, what happened? Damn,
I feel like I'm in a family for real now. I'm being initiated, and
the only person
that's how that man was following you around the store.
Man, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I laugh, I joke, I play, I got a good disposition, but I'm not gonna let you play with me. No. I don't care what way it go. People could joke on me. I'm not sensitive like that. Somebody said I got that 14%. That's why I'm speaking. I guess I could take jokes. So I was in the store and I'm with my sons. I'm in the gas station. I go to one aisle.
I stayed in the car, so
he go the man. He on the aisle with me. It's about 11 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying?
We got 2 children.
Yeah, we got 2 children with me. They looking for candy, moving around the store. I go to one aisle. He on the one aisle with me, picking up Doritos, looking at the back of them. Now he work at the store. Okay, so I go to the next. I'm looking for ice cream. I'm looking for milk. I go to the next aisle. I look up. I was like, God damn, he on his aisle too. Well, what is he looking for? So I go to the third aisle. I'm now looking for whatever I was looking for, and I look up and he on the aisle with me. I say, God damn it. Let me explain something to you, man. I go to work every day. I ain't finna steal nothing out no gas station. And if I wanted to steal, you couldn't stop me. You understand what I'm saying? Why you keep following me from out of, oh no. I was checking prices. You checking prices on every aisle I'm on? I didn't skip 2 aisles. It's not like you went from aisle 3 to aisle 4. I went from aisle 3 to aisle 5, and you followed me to 5. I told my children, put all this down. We ain't buying nothing out of the store. I'm like, my children was like, oh God, daddy. But that's just the way, like, again, if you don't call it out, what you gonna do? I'm gonna let you like treat me like I'm a common criminal.
Exactly.
No, not all people. Yeah, man. Listen, and that's, I don't know. That's just how I get down. But I've learned as I've gotten older to be a little bit more tamer.
You have.
I've gotten a little bit more tamer. When we first got married, we went to Tanzania and a man bumped her. He was about to die that day. Yeah. You remember that when we were going from?
I do.
We were going from Tanzania to Zanzibar. Mm-hmm. We were standing in line, and this white man bumped my wife, and he ain't say, "Excuse me," say nothing. And I was 30. I was working out. I was bumped. Man, are you prepared to leave this earth today? Because I am prepared to take you off. Look, I don't even think he spoke English good, but he started getting his English right. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, buddy.
Like, damn, I ain't mean it.
Yeah, I don't know, but then I'm from a harsh place. Maybe I need a little counseling, Doc. What's your number?
Look, you and I can definitely talk offline. That pre-therapy me, boy, I done did some things myself. So I'm like, crazy recognize crazy, and I feel you for sure. I feel you. Boy,
Yeah,
God,
man. But
dog.
I know I have calmed down, and now I know how to use my words
Mhm,
to express myself, even if they're forceful. But yeah,
mhm,
I remember a long time ago, man. And let me tell you, I think I've never gotten like, I don't do like crimes and stuff like that. I think my anger has been righteous indignation.
mm,
I remember seeing I was driving in my car. I saw a man steal money from a lady, and she was running down the street behind him. This is the first time I had buku guns pulled on me by the police. He was running from her, right? Because he had taken her money. And I'm in my car and I saw it and I just couldn't let it go. So I chased him in my car and I
mm,
caught him at Carrollton and Canal, which is a major intersection,
mm,
right? Now, keep in mind, she's ran about 4 or 5 blocks screaming. So people don't already alert the police. I'm in the car. I jump out the car and I catch him and I
mhm,
hit him. Pow. But by the time I hit him, local police showed up.
mm.
And so they don't know who is the
Who? Yeah.
person that was running. And
Oh wow.
they pulled every gun they had on me,
Oh wow.
right? And the people and the lady, she was like, "No, not him! No, not him! No, not him!" And they put the handcuffs on me. And when they took it off, they were just apologetic. Thank you, brother. Blah 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 blah. So I ain't never did nothing to nobody that like
Right.
I ain't robbed no old ladies or nothing like that.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
No,
Right. Right.
I don't do that type of stuff.
Right.
But anyway, man, it's 2 hours.
We're only going to be on 30 minutes. I knew that was a lie.
You know what? You should have known that when I popped up on here too, Adrian. You was like, "Oh, we finna be here for a minute. Get your snacks.
Yeah,
Get your snacks."
yeah. Family. I love y'all.
Wait, Seppo came off mute for a second.
Oh, Seppo, what you got to say?
Oh, I just wanted some subtitles regarding buku so that we all know what buku
Buku.
means.
So here it is. Louisiana was a French speaking place. It was a French colony first. So merci beaucoup, and I don't know if I said that right, merci beaucoup means thank you very much. So Black New Orleans then took beaucoup or beaucoup or however you say it, and it just means much, a lot. So we'll say, man, there's beaucoup people out here. It just means there's a lot of people. I said buku guns, right? That means there was a lot of guns pulled on me or whatever have you. So yeah, that's what that buku, and it's
Buku.
so that's the New Orleans version of boku. BEACOUP or something like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. So that's what that means. Any other translations? Because I know I say a lot of New Orleans stuff. Black American lingo. Well, I know what the comments saying. I know I got the people all riled up.
Too much.
Yeah, ready for war. I do want to tell you real quick. I appreciate what you're doing with the examine rap thing, and it actually makes me challenge my own, go deeper on my own how I embrace rap music. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I love rap music. I love it that it allows me to get my body moving and stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
It's mainly like a rhythm thing. But when you have to pay attention, and this is for everybody, you have to pay attention to what you're consuming, not just what you're eating, but what you're listening to, what you're being
Yeah,
fed. And so a lot of this stuff is we set ourselves up for being okay with children being killed, being okay with
that's what I'm saying.
drug and substance abuse, being okay with women being raped. We set ourselves up to normalize some of this deviant behavior. So I really appreciate what you're doing with that. And cognitive dissonance is real. Anybody that sits here and wants to argue over uh, you challenging rap, examining rap music and its role in our community, that is already a losing battle. You cannot win that person over because they already came in with the mindset to object,
Right.
because they don't bought into the system already. They're not in the space to receive. So,
Doc, let me tell you this. Let me tell you. So examine rap came from me thinking about C. Dolores Tucker. You remember C. Dolores Tucker? Right? You remember her?
From where?
T. Dolores Tucker was she was the leader of the National Congress for Negro Women.
Oh yeah.
In the late 80s, early 90s. And she was vocal about how bad gangster rap was, right? So I get to South Africa, really like visiting back and forth. I started listening, I tell everybody, I listen to South African hip hop, AKA Nasty C, Casper Novus, A. Reese, Blackie. I listen to them. When you listen to like AKA the biggest rapper here, Casper's kind of the biggest one of the biggest rappers, Nasty C, they got the party. They rapping about party. They rapping about the girls. That's fine. They rapping about the money. But I don't hear AK-47, I'm gonna shoot you and kill you in the music. So I'm listening, and I kept saying, I'm listening, but I can't connect to this music. What is going on? And what it was missing that violent content, that aggressive content, right? That I was so used to with American hip hop. And it forces you to say, wait a minute, so Examine Rap started. I actually was posting the lyrics of some of my favorite rappers. Pimp C, you from Texas. Pimp C was my favorite rapper, even over Tupac. When Pimp C said polo horses on my bed, Hill figure.
Yeah.
I went up a polo because Pimp C, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But listen to what he talking about. He talked about raping women.
Yep.
He said, I'm looking at rape. I'm looking at kidnap. Oh, why would I want to put that into my spirit? Why, when I'm jogging on the treadmill, I got that going in my head? And you ever get a song stuck in your head, like even when you go to sleep at night, you hear the music. I don't need that in my spirit, not at 43 years old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying, if it can affect my spirit, if I can play the song over and over in my head just from hearing it, what about that baby at 10?
Exactly.
What about the baby at 12 that heard this his whole life and he didn't have a mama and daddy to snatch him by his collar? Let me tell you, we can go in a second. My mama heard me listening to Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. A soul song, right? I'm listening to it. The beat was knocking. So many rappers had sampled the beat. And I may have been about 13 or 14. My mama turned the music off and she said, they're not talking about making love, son. They're talking about having sex. There's a difference. Right? So I had someone to point out to me, this ain't, to really analyze what these lyrics are talking. And that was the Isley Brothers, right? So many of my friends who are 43, we all the same age, and you hear them talk about women and they refer to them as HOEs, just like it's common. Married with children, go to work every day, but talk about women like, man, these HOEs ain't SHIT. Grown men. Where did they get that language from? That's not the way their daddy spoke in the home. That's not the way their mother taught them to speak. They got it from rap music, right? The way we talk about each other as Black men. We was having a conversation today, and I was saying, like, our sense of like our masculinity is on a scale, but it's from like hyper masculinity to toxic masculinity. We don't know how to talk to brothers like, hey brother, how's your day? Hey, let me tell you something. A guy, we had dinner with a brother, I ain't gonna say his name, and when he got home, he texted me. This was Friday. He texted me and said, I made it home. Hope you guys made it home safe. In my circle of friends, that's soft. You would never do that.
Yeah.
Never do it. Now, women different, you know what I'm saying? But in my circle of friends, and these are not hard people, these are college educated, whatever, professionals. It's just not the way we talk. You know what I'm saying? Now, if something happens like major or whatever have you, but calling to check on somebody, see if they made it home, it's like they'd be like, bro, you weird, man. You soft, man. What you doing? Right? So we have yet to learn to even express how to care for someone, show concern, because our masculinity is so hyper and so toxic. I told them, I told somebody today, I was thinking about my brother who he's one of my best friends. He passed. And if he were alive when I got ready to leave for Africa, he wouldn't have said, hey, brother, good trip. I'm going to miss you. Take care of your family, take care of your kids. If you need anything, I got you. He would mean it, but he would be like, man, old punk nigga gonna leave me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Holler at me when you get we don't even have the language to express love for each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm often impressed when I do find a brother who's able to express that love. I remember reaching out to my friends and just sending a text message to each of them as I was walking around the track, just saying, hey, brother, I'm thinking about you. Hope all is well. You should have seen the response I got. What's wrong with you? They calling me, making sure I'm okay. Because I'm checking on them. Right. If I send them, a TikTok of somebody doing something stupid, oh, it's all good. So we as Black men have been conditioned to be these hardened versions of men that we don't need to be. So we don't even know how to cry. We don't know how to express happiness. Cat Williams said, we wake up angry. You mad at breakfast? You can't be angry and hard all day. Right. So I'm trying to detoxify myself in many ways. And part of it comes with, I can't listen to this music, man. I don't want my son. And the other part of the story is I asked my son who his favorite rapper was, and he really doesn't listen to music because he listens to what I'm gonna listen to in the car, right? And he ain't got no radio in his room. But he showed me this rapper that was his favorite rapper. And the rapper was talking about effing somebody's mama. I said,
they mama?
Effing somebody's mama.
Oh, okay.
I said, bro, why are you listening to that? And do you identify with? He's like, oh, this the kids listening to it at school. And I'm just like, bro, you want somebody to F your mom? No, that's not. It's just a song that, the same excuses we give. But what I'm explaining to him is that will change your disposition. The more you intake that, the more that just becomes normal. It'll change your disposition. So I try to let him listen to Tupac, Dear Mama. And I couldn't even get through that. I started listening to what Tupac said. And even though I sold rocks, it felt good putting money in it. No, homie. It's no excuse to sell drugs. No, it's just not. I understand the passion and that's his story. That's fine. But we can't take that and run with it like, oh yeah, Pac sold drugs to feed his mom or put money in the mailbox or whatever have you. No, that's not where I come from. You understand what I'm saying? My dad couldn't have, if he didn't have enough money, he'd go out and cut somebody's grass. Yeah, he'll go out and cut somebody's grass. A grown man get out there and do gardening work to get the extra money he needs. That's the type of men we need to put in the magazines. And the problem with hip hop music is they take the gangsters, they take the thugs, they take the Negroes from Oak Cliff, and they take the Negro from the Ninth Ward, and they put them. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. And they put them in because that's where my partners from. They from.
We hold up. You brought up Oak Cliff. We're working on them. We losing rappers too. We losing
y'all
rappers.
Lost Mo 3.
Yep.
Y'all lost Mo 3. They got Trap Boy Freddy is pure evil. Let me tell you why he's pure evil. Because when Mo 3 died, he made this song called Laugh Now. I think it's called Laugh Now. And he is basically taunting this man after his death. Right. Hey, man, I don't want that in my spirit. But those are the people we put in the magazines. Those are the people we put a microphone in front of their face and ask their opinions. And our kids look up to that. Our kids look up to all the gold chains and the ice on the fingers and the pinky rings and all that type of stuff. And the dude with the hard hat going to work every day, the teacher, the postman, even the lawyers and the doctors, they can't compete with the rappers. So our children don't want to be rappers anymore. I mean, don't want to be hardworking men anymore. They want to be rappers. They want to be gangsters. They want to be thugs. And at 43 years old, I know I was infected with it. I know as a 43-year-old man, I was infected with the way these people thought. And that's just not the way my mom and dad raised me. I was raised in the church.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I was raised in the church with decent morals, decent values. My mama whipped my behind. She taught me right from wrong. And I'm out listening to music that goes against everything I was taught. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But before that, before the music got so bad, I'll tell you how it influenced me. The pro-black revolutionary, I love my people. That's the music, that's the real music I grew up on when I was 8, 9, 10, listening to KRS-One, Boogie Down Production, X-Clan, and Goody Mob, and all of those people who were talking conscious stuff. I was there before gangster rap. So that really shaped me. Gangster rap just came along thereafter. And like you said, the beats sound good, right? It sound good in your car, but you don't know the diet of filth that you're taking in, you know? So that's how passionate, that's why examine rap. And I know people are not going to stop listening to rap music. That's what they are. But when I've had several people say, man, I was listening to one brother said I was listening to Too Short, and all he heard was Doc say, examine rap. That's all I want you to do. All I want you to do is pay attention to what's coming in your system when you listen to the brother talk about raping women. When you listen to Rick Ross saying, I put Molly in her drink and she didn't even know it, that's date rape. Yeah.
But we can't just put all this on men. We as women have a huge responsibility in the role that we play in this as well. Perpetuating our value is based off of how many bodies we can have sexually. We devalue ourselves with just the words that we use, and we used to fight calling a woman a B word was fighting words, but now it's a term of endearment. So we need to shake some stuff up. It's
how far have we fallen? When Queen Latifah, when they started rapping about black women being B's and H's, Queen Latifah came out with a song, and the first words of the song was, who you calling a B?
Yes.
UNITY.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, that ain't what our sister, but I ain't, again, just like I don't get into South African politics, I'm not gonna critique black women. You see what I'm saying? It takes black women.
I got you. But you know what? And I'm with you. We are on the same wavelength with that. I cannot sit up here and go in and go hard on men. That is not my space. I can help you in therapy, teach you how to identify your feelings and how to speak, and and break through some of those things that's preventing you from being the great man that you are. However, when it comes down to women in our culture, and that you have toxic masculinity, you better believe there's toxic femininity as well. And how it's used to manipulate, to control, and to pretty much not take ownership. There's a lot of avoidance and not eating the stuff that we put now. So women, we play a huge role in the demise of the black family. It's not just men.
And what I don't want to wrap this all up and bring it back to this continent, we don't need that. It's already being exported, right? And that becomes just like we have conversations with some of our South African family, and they'll say, man, we saw the Cosby Show on TV. We saw the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and we thought that and those are great representations of black people, right? And they thought that's how we live. But now you have this other representation of the black American community being propagated and promoted throughout the world. I don't want to walk around and have people thinking that black men are gangsters and thugs. Well, black American men are gangsters and thugs. That's not who we are, right? I'm in France and in the car and they're playing Drake. So the N-word has no relevance in France, but they're playing Drake in the car on the radio, and N-word this, N-word that is just being played. So when these kids in France listen to it, the N-word doesn't even have the same meaning to them. And this is a deep and hurtful and painful word. That's the last word somebody heard before they was lynched. You see what I'm saying? And now it's just being promoted throughout the world. And the image of the black man is being so distorted. And I got to do everything in my power so that my kids inherit a world in which that image that they're promoting the shadow, right? As best as possible, so that when they see my sons and they as men, they don't think of them as criminals. They don't think of them as thugs. They don't think of them as gangsters. They think of them as intelligent men who have something to contribute to the world. Right? Sisters, say his name. Seppo.
Yes, ma'am.
Family, we got.
Wow.
I cannot.
14%.
Family, man, thank y'all so much for joining us. I know this thing went from one end of the world to the other, but thank y'all so much for joining us, and we'll be back. We're going to come up with a schedule, and I'm going to make like a little post on what that schedule will look like, whether it be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays, or something like that, so that we could be more active on our uploads or whatever have you. So thank y'all for joining, man. We love y'all. Good night.
One love.
Good night, Doc Nikki.
Good night, Doc.
Y'all have
See
a
you
good
soon.
night. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.